Welcome everyone to our discussion. We are an extension of the Facebook group, Type 1 Diabetics for 50 years plus. And all discussions are open and unedited. These are the participants' personal experiences, and expressed comments or opinions are not to be taken as medical advice of any kind. Always check with your doctors before making any changes to any of your medications or therapies. We are joined today.
I'm working with these people. I'll be free in 30 minutes.
We are with today my beautiful wife, Karen.
Hi.
And we've got the lovely Marcy with us as well.
Hello.
And we have special guest today, Richard Vaughn.
Hello.
Welcome, Richard. Richard, you joined our group on World Diabetes Day a couple years ago on November 14th, 2022.
Okay.
It was also 6 days after our group started. You were one of the beginners here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fabulous to have you. I know a number of our members have seen your posts, and not only in our group, but I know you post in a number of other groups, and it's been so inspirational to everyone in the entire community.
I totally agree. Richard is very inspirational.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
There is one member of the group that has been type 1 for longer than me. I can't remember the name, a female.
Oh.
Is that
Carol? Yeah, Carol. And Carol's hubby is just going through a few challenges right now. But we hope to have Carol on at some point as well, Richard. But we are so honored to have both you and in our group, we have a number of what we call masters.
Just real quick.
Okay. I'm talking to these people.
Oh.
You're talking to your people. Is that Anita by any chance?
My wife doesn't understand what's going on here.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Her name's Anita, though, correct?
Something. Have fun.
Okay. So in our group, we have a page that's kind of dedicated to what we call masters, and you're on it. We just mentioned Carol, and she is on it as well. And these are folks that have managed for 70 years or more. And you're there with, I believe it's 78 now, Richard, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's remarkable.
There is an 80-year medal offered by Jocelyn. I'll be eligible for that in September next year.
Wow. Wow.
There are, I think, 2, maybe more than 2, type 1 diabetics in this country who have been type 1 for more than 85 years.
Oh my goodness.
I haven't seen them online. I haven't seen them on Facebook, but they were interviewed, and I heard the interview in 2021 when there was a meeting in Boston held online because of COVID. They didn't meet in Boston like they usually do. So they were interviewed, and 80-year medals were given out that year, 75-year medals. And then these 2 people didn't get a medal because they don't have one for 85 years.
Wow.
Wow.
But
Wow.
they were interviewed, and they looked good. 85 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're amazing, Richard.
Well,
Yeah.
when people tell me that, but I look up to the ones who've been diagnosed even longer than me. 85 years is remarkable.
It
Yeah.
is remarkable.
It
And
is.
that's the effect that you have on everybody, is that I'm 52 years in, and 78 is now attainable because I'm talking to you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm enjoying watching your cat washing its paws behind your head.
Oh, well, wonderful. That is Sage. He's about 14 years old, so he's been around for a while.
Oh, wow.
We had a cat die 2 years ago that was 18 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
What also makes it amazing, Richard, and you talk about there's a few that are older that have managed for a little longer. But what makes it really remarkable is yourself and others are still on Facebook and still communicating and still being able to share with others in the community. And that is amazing. That is fabulous.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very interesting following the study of long-term type 1 diabetics given at Jocelyn. They interviewed and worked with 1,000 subjects who had been type 1 for 50 or more years. And they had found some interesting outcomes. I attended a meeting in 2011, and the host was the head of the study, Dr. George King. Are any of you familiar with that name?
I've heard it through our friend Lori Harper. I've heard of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he teaches at the local medical school there. What can I think of the name of it? In Boston. And he said that they had found something internal that is responsible for so many of us long-termers not having any serious difficulties after 50 or more years. And he elaborated on that, but I can't remember that much of the information in the speech that he gave. But it's nice that they have found something. And I found today I found a link to a site that alludes to not having as much difficulty if you are in a particular group, have a particular item in your body, and they think that is responsible for long-termers having fewer difficulties or no difficulties at all.
Yeah.
And I want to find that link and post it on our group page so you can read it.
That would be great.
I think it's also a big component is in the early years, maybe some had access to some who would, before technology came, but some had people around them that would help them through difficult times. I remember, Richard, you telling me years ago or when we first started chatting, because you had early seizures as well. But it was Anita who helped you get through them. And many do, and they need the help back, in the early days before technology came. And I think that's a real help as well.
Yes. I'm here and in good health today because of my mother and my wife. They were the two who were most instrumental in seeing me through rough times and make it possible for me to have good health now. Without either of them, I would not be here.
Yeah. It would be my mother and my husband, Dal. They're the ones that have got me, because I'm into my 60th year this year. So.
Good. I think most long-termers do have someone they can point out as being responsible for them this far.
Yeah.
Mine was all luck because I didn't really have help in the beginning. But now I have Larry, but I've only had Larry for 2 years now. So I think mine's just all luck. I'm just happy I haven't killed myself.
Yeah.
Because that's always a possibility.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Marcy, is your cat an alert cat?
He is not, I have 3 dogs and 2 cats, and none of them care. Okay. And it may have been the way that I raised them, because I didn't know of the necessity that, it would be helpful to have a diabetic alert cat or a diabetic alert dog. And so, yeah, none of them do.
One of my friends from many years ago said she had a cat who would get upset when she had low blood sugar. She could sense it.
Right. And a lot of
And,
them can, and mine
Yeah.
maybe can, but they don't give me any indication that they can.
uh-huh. Do either of you ladies have an alert dog?
No, no.
No.
I have dogs, but I'm at their command. They're not at my command.
You have to be careful. There's a place in Virginia that's famous for training and giving out alert dogs, very expensive. And they get the alert dog, and the dog isn't really alerting. And they've wasted a lot of money on
Yeah.
a dog that is not doing them any good.
Well,
So you have to be very careful.
exactly. Well, several years ago, I had actually looked into it because I've had dogs and cats all my life. And I thought, well, that'd be kind of cool, But the only place I could find that you could get them was California. And it was over $5,000 a dog. And well, that's out of my financial budget. And so now they have instructionals online that tell you how to train the dog.
Oh, okay.
Some just have a propensity and do it themselves. I've not ever been that lucky to find one that did it. But anyway, so.
Yes, there are dogs who seem to, without training,
Exactly.
who seem to sense the highs and the lows, unusual behavior on the part of the diabetic, I suppose, that we don't even realize ourselves, but
Right.
the animal detects it.
Yeah.
Richard, we talk a lot about technology and so forth today. You're on a pump, yes? CGM, yes?
Yes, I started pumping in 2007.
Okay.
I have 2 online friends who started in 1980.
Wow.
That's the earliest I know of. One of them lives in Montana. Very cold there where she lives, and she thinks that her pump starting in 1980 saved her life many times.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Wow. Wow.
It definitely does help with the highs, and it certainly reduces the lows, for sure.
Yes.
I know Karen is on the Omnipod. Marcy's on Medtronic, the new 780. What are you on? Is that okay for me to ask?
Okay.
What
You-
pump are
you-
you on? What pump are you on, Richard?
Are you on the Medtronic system, Richard?
Yes, I'm contemplating trying one of the ones that hooks up with the Dexcom, and
Okay.
we have a choice of 2 different companies for that. I'm trying to find out more about the pump called the ILET. ILET, I think is the correct spelling.
Correct.
I think it's one of the newest pumps, and some people are already using it. On Facebook, you can tune in to support groups for the Omnipod, for the Tandem pump, and for the Medtronics pumps. I suppose there's one for the ILET. I'm going to look for it and join it and see what they say about it.
There are a couple for the islet. I belong to those groups. I'm on the Medtronic 780 now, but I'm looking at the islet maybe for my next pump. But it will be a couple of years insurance wise before I can change. And
Okay.
I'm thinking that the Medtronics and the islet, the algorithms are very close, but there are definite differences. So with the Medtronics, of course, you use the Guardian 4 sensor, and with the islet, you use the Dexcom 6, I think, right now. And I'm not sure if it's been approved for the 7 or not, but yeah, I'm very interested in the islet also.
We do have some users in our group on the islet.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't aware of that.
yeah. So there is a dedicated chat in our group on the islet. And
Okay.
so there's been some good talk about it and some good success with some of our users.
Have any of you ever attended the meeting that's held in July in Florida every year? It's called I shouldn't start a conversation when I when I don't know what I'm going to be talking about.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it's held in July because it was created for the parents and the children who are diabetics, and very young children and their parents and their grandparents would go to this meeting. But then they opened it up to type 1 diabetics of all ages. And I went in 2013 and in 2015. They started in the year 2000.
Is this Friends
Sometimes
for
they have
Life?
as many as 2,000 people attending in Orlando. 2,000 people includes fewer than half of them are diabetics because a lot of them are very young people. So you have the adults, you have the grandparents, and they have special meetings for each age group. They have the younger people, they have what they call tweens, TWEENs, and then the teenager, and then they have a college group. They have different meetings for each of these groups. It's well arranged. And I would encourage you, if you would be idolized if you went and have had diabetes for a long time. And a lot of people would want to meet you and talk to you. I gave a talk. I don't talk as well now as I did in 2015, but I did give a talk to a group on the side that year. I had about 30 people, and I opened it up to questions. I didn't give a pre-prepared speech. I just opened it up to questions, and they had lots of questions, and it went very smoothly. And they have a lot of meetings all day long on just anything you can think of that relates to diabetes. And they have a special room where all the new devices are displayed, and people are showing their wares. But I think it's a wonderful Friends for Life.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Friends for Life, Orlando, shortly after July the 4th, every year. And it's a wonderful place to go and meet fellow diabetics.
Mhm.
What do you think of a group for an outing just for our group? So for the long-termers like yourself, like our group.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's great to have the inspirational in front of everybody else, but sometimes you just need to be amongst your own.
Yes, that's what they do at Jocelyn in odd-numbered years.
Yeah.
and it's a big group. They'll have well over 100 every time they meet.
Wow.
They provide meals. They help with the expenses, and they have the main meeting hosted by Dr. King and with others getting up, and then they present the medals for that year.
Hmm.
So it's a nice place too.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
Richard, were you ever an athlete in school? Were you a big football player or a basketball player or baseball?
Well, I started school in 1945, and that's the year I was diagnosed while
Yeah.
I was in the first grade. I was very sensitive. I was, excuse the word, brittle diabetic. I was very, very brittle. And if I went and played on the playground or in the gymnasium, I would have a low blood sugar very fast. So no, I didn't join in any sports. I enjoyed sports, watching the other kids, but I was on the sidelines in all the activity situations. My doctor wrote a special excuse for me to show my teachers, and I used that throughout elementary school.
Yeah.
I love golfing, but I was lousy at it. You can relax and take your time and not have so much trouble with. It's not a very strenuous sport.
Yeah.
You
Well,
can
and if
take
you
it
need
easy. And I like bowling.
Yeah.
Those are the only sports I've ever had.
Mhm.
But with those, if you need to treat a low, you have time to treat it, right?
Yeah. You can take time out easily
Exactly.
with golfing and bowling.
Right.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
participation sports, there's no opportunity
No
for
time
that.
out. Makes a big difference.
Yes.
It does. Hmm.
The world of professional sports has really opened up now to type ones, where you
Oh,
see
yeah.
type ones in almost every sport, professional golf, like you say. We're everywhere now.
Yes. Well, in this day and time, with all the devices you have for controlling your blood sugar levels, you can I think, very easily participate in almost any sport.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
a big difference. Yes.
Oh, huge difference. So many more options available.
I wonder if in the Olympics, if these track meets, if there are diabetics, they have to run very fast and they might run around for the mile 4 times. How can you not have a terrible
Yeah.
low blood sugar under those circumstances?
I definitely would.
Yeah, Karen tells me about her track and field days in school when she was at a track meet and one trip around the track and she falls down and they've got it going on the PA system. Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I was about the end of my track and field days.
You got road rash, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Richard is an author of this book. Many
Oh,
of
yeah.
you've probably seen it. Let me see if I can put that up here.
Yeah.
Now that was written something like 14 years ago.
Yes, that's correct.
There's many miles after this book.
It is sold very well, but only because I joined Facebook to advertise my book.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Ah, it worked
And
well.
it worked. And there is a special page on Facebook, not my own Facebook page, but a separate one that was purposely created for my selling my book. And I have over 1,000 followers there, I post everything I post on my page on Facebook. I also post in that group. So I have people who are tuning in to read whatever I want to say, and they see my advertisement for my book, and I've sold copies that way.
Yeah.
So
It's
your
nothing
next
special.
book, your next book is a work in progress, and you've already gotten it typed out, it sounds like.
Uh-huh.
Just need to compile it.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Richard, do you remember what got you into Facebook in the first place?
Excuse me?
What got you in to Facebook? What introduced you to Facebook?
A lady in Colorado Springs told me, she helped me in publishing my book on Amazon.
Okay.
And she told me about a number of places I should join, and she recommended Facebook. And she created that extra group page I talked about. She
Okay.
created that page for me on Facebook and got me started.
Yeah.
So she was very helpful.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wonderful.
That's awesome.
The directions on Amazon for publishing the book, I was totally confused. And they wanted all about how to type your manuscript with margins fixed certain lengths and certain ways, and how you could resize your pictures so they would fit on the pages properly. I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So I had to get help.
Sounds like you got good help there.
Yes, I did.
Yes, very good.
There is a lady in Upper Michigan, very, very far to the north in Michigan. She has type 1 diabetes. She went to Jocelyn to learn how to take care of herself, and that was a good move. But she was scared. How long would she live? What kind of complications would she have? And then she read about me on diabetesdaily.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a Facebook group. She read about me and what I was writing, and she read that I was writing a book. And then she sent me a private message. Do you need any help? And she got me started. She took all of my chapters and put them together and resized the pictures, and she published my book on Amazon for me.
Wonderful.
Wow. Oh, very nice. Very nice.
She helped you as much as you helped her, I bet.
Well, that's why she did it, and she didn't want any money for it.
Right. Isn't that wonderful?
That is her profession. Her profession is to help people in their writing and in publishing their books. She and her husband both do that for people.
Wow.
So her being a diabetic, it just fit right in.
Exactly. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
I don't even remember her name now.
Okay, I bet we could find it.
Yeah.
Yes, I can find it. It's on the page that I referred to on Facebook. I can contact her. Colorado Springs.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Richard, it sounds like type 1 really hasn't gotten your way a whole lot. You just carried on, huh?
I'm sorry, Adele, I didn't hear that.
It sounds like type 1 really hasn't gotten your way, and you've had a lot of success and happiness, and it's been really, really tremendous.
My eyes are in good shape.
Yeah.
I have nerve damage in my ears, and I think diabetes probably did that. It seems strange that it affected my hearing, but doesn't affect my vision. I don't even need to wear glasses. I don't even have a restriction on my driver's license saying that I have to wear glasses.
Wow.
Wow.
But I do have to wear hearing aids. And I have neuropathy in feet, legs, arms, hands. I have weak muscles, very weak, caused by the nerve damage and the weak muscles follow suit.
Right.
Uh, I know well, there's some talk of actually having a meetup with you for some of us somewhere in the middle of May, and I don't know if Karen and I are going to be able to join that, but it would be really neat to meet with you then. We'll have to see. I know some of us are going away for a week or so, and we're kind of excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be really neat to meet up with you as well, face to face.
Yeah, yeah.
My wife has dementia.
I'm sorry.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, and it's getting kind of bad. I can't take trips anymore.
Okay.
I wish I could. I would like to be at the meeting in Florida. I would like to go and visit my relatives in Roanoke, Virginia.
Right.
But these trips, just I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Understand.
Disappointing.
So people need to bring it to you. Is that what I'm understanding here?
Absolutely.
What was that, Marcy?
I said, so people need to bring it to you. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yeah,
And I'm good with that. Yes. That's a thumbs up.
there are people who I'm 90 miles north of New York City,
I see.
and there are people who have met in New York City and wanted me to drive down.
Ah.
No, not me. No, I've driven in New York City, but that was a long time ago.
Right.
I wouldn't try it now.
Yeah. Well, you know
Yeah,
your
yeah.
limitations, and I think most people do know most of their limitations. And with 78 years under your belt, as far as I'm concerned, you can do whatever you want to do, Richard.
Absolutely. We're starting to run a little low on time here, guys. Karen, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Okay.
Karen, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, no, I don't think so. It's just been a real pleasure to meet with you finally, Richard, and I love your comments and your things on Facebook. Read them all, and they're always so inspirational to me, and I wish you many more years of healthy living.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I hope you and Marcy will have many more years too.
Oh, thanks.
And Marcy?
Well,
Anything?
Richard is definitely an inspiration for me. And whenever I see his publications any place on Facebook, I read them, even if I've already read them someplace else. So you take care, Richard, and take care of your
Okay.
wife. And I wish you the best.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And from where I stand, Richard, you've been a rock. I mean, right from the get-go, I contacted you and just, what do you think of the group and how's the group going? And, I
Oh, I
tied in
think
with you
it's
then.
fantastic. I don't know of a more well conceived, well dealt with group. I think it's wonderful. There is a online group for Jocelyn medalists. It's a sort of a secret group, and only Jocelyn medalists can join.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much smaller, and there's not a lot going on that page. Not a lot. And so it's your group is very active. And there are a lot of people in your group who could join the Jocelyn medalist group, but they don't. I think they know from what they've been told that it's not that active. And so they get a lot more information from your group than they would from the Jocelyn group.
Yeah, the group is active because of all of you. And all of you are active. So that's why the group is active. And it's awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Again, thank you, Richard. Again, there is Richard's book available on Amazon. And it is, I wish I could say I finished it, Richard. I haven't. I'm about halfway through it,
Okay.
but I will get through it.
All
Again,
right.
great to see you. Great to see you, ladies. And if you guys like the way the meeting has went, the conversation has went, simply hit the subscribe button, and there are other members, and we will continue to do these. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Goodbye, all of you.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.